Willie Smith's organic cider has emerged as a driver of Tasmania's brand. In 2015, one of his products was judged Best in Show at the Australian Cider Awards. Andrew Smith explains how it all came about.
To make great cider, you need great apples. And obviously we're lucky here in Tasmania. We have a cool, temperate climate, a long growing season, which is world renowned for growing great apples. I'm a fourth generation fruit grower. I came into the industry in the mid-80s. The industry was in major decline. For me, it was very evident in the late 90s that we needed to make a change and diversify the business. So we've gone through constant change since basically 1997-98. And in that change, we've gone from certified organic to value adding and processing and direct supply agreements with all our major customers. Then in 1997 I got the opportunity to go to Wenatchee in Washington State and meet a guy called Doyle Fleming, who was twice pronounced Orchardist of the Year in the United States, so had some pedigree. But I felt like we should go organic. After we had converted the orchard to organic, I saw an opportunity in the market obviously, and we knocked on Woolworth's door and endeavoured to become a national vendor for Woolworths. In 2007 they gave us national supply and we've been a national supplier ever since.
A typically Tasmanian personal contact led Andrew into juice extraction.
Michael Cooper, who at the time owned Juicy Isle, and I have known each other for a long time. He had approached us in 2009 and seen if we had any interest in doing an organic juice product. So we hooked up to combined to produce an fresh organic juice line.
Moving from juice to cider seemed logical.
In early 2010, I had decided to try and seek out a partner to do cider with. We're apple growers and we're reasonable at what we do, but we know what we can't do, and Sam Reed was someone who I met in a chance meeting in Sydney, and we've subsequently hooked up and developed Willie Smith's cider. Due to a number of factors, the Australian cider market is growing at a rapid rate. The timing's been very good for us, and through Sam Reed's marketing expertise and our ability to get things done and build the back end of the business, we've been able to make really good grounds into the cider market, and the growth of the business is very strong. In 2015, Willie Smith's 18 varieties, the first cider we've made completely from cider apples, won Best Cider at Show at the Australian Cider Awards. It wasn't just the best Australian cider, but it was best at show, which means that it trumped all the international ciders as well. And 18 varieties was a cider that we literally made out of 18 cider varieties. They are varieties that we're currently propagating and growing in order to build the business for the future. They're on trial, if you like. Our dream and goal is to, into the future, make cider out of cider apples, not just sweet apples, dessert apples.
The apple shed on the busy Huon Highway has given Willie Smith's organic cider a brand home.
When we originally formed Willie Smith's in 2011, it was very important for us to establish a home for our product. Having a brand and building a brand, obviously there's a story behind it, and the story is the 4 generations of Smith family apple production that has led to the business currently. We needed to tell that story, and for us, we needed a home. So we're very lucky to have this shed. So behind me, we have an apple heritage wall with 290 separate apple varieties on it. The apples themselves are coming from a heritage orchard on the Grove Research Station, less than a kilometre from here. And there's actually only 2 sites in the world that still grow and keep these varieties.
And the good times are rolling in the Huon Valley.
Currently we're suffering from success problems. We're growing at such a rapid rate. We're employing a considerable amount of people in the business. The cider business is growing at about 40% per annum, and there's strong demand for apples, not just from our business but in the wider community for cider generally. We currently produce 3 major ciders. We have an original cider, which is our organic 5.4% flagship product. We have a perry with pear cider, and we also have a bone dry, which is a higher alcohol, fully fermented dry product, which is becoming quite popular.
Once you have cider, why not move on to apple brandy?
So I'm standing in front of our beautiful alembic still. In this still we make Calvados, distilled cider, and that's our intention to be part of this fantastic spirits industry that's emerging in Tasmania.
Calvados will take value adding about as far as it can go. What then for Willie Smith's organic cider?
The long-term goal for Willie Smith's is to continue to grow and gain more market share in the Australian cider market. The short-term goal is 1% of a market that's 100 million litres. Long-term, I guess the consumer will decide where our product ends up.